But people did that out of a reason. Something happened in the past that made people not to be coming out on Mondays. And I believe up till now, that problem has not been solved. That's why the sit-at-home persists. Yes, so recent happenings today being Monday, 26th of January 2026. Yes, Governor Soludo has shut down the biggest market in West Africa, talking about the Onitsha main market, for failure of, shop owners to come to shop.
This market will be shut down for the remainder of this week. It will,
because when he visited the shops, that's the market itself, he discovered that shops were closed, just like normal sit at home. On Mondays, that traders don't open shop at all in Anambra State. Though majorly in Onitsha, Oka is having a kind of a little movement because it's a seat of power, but Onitsha, they don't open shops. Probably out of past experiences, there is fear. Fear is in the people's body, and because of that, I believe that is the basis. They don't open shops because of what really has happened in the past, people being killed and a whole lot of things happening on that Monday being declared by parallel state actors. I don't know who are those people, but on Mondays, people don't usually come out to open shops. Now, Soludo now said, okay, you must come to open shop, but I believe that this is people's personal choice. There is no law. Okay, is there any law that's cited in the constitution of Anambra State or constitution of Nigeria that you must come and open your shop? Even if you have paid, you must come and open it. I don't think so. Even though we don't like, or I'm not in support of, what is happening in Anambra State, but people did that out of a reason. Something happened in the past that made people not to be coming out on Mondays. And I believe up till now, that problem has not been solved. That's why the sit-at-home persists.
Asari Dokubo, youth don't tire to carry gun. Now company work we want. We don't tire for this security work to carry gun to go and die for Igbo land, to go and die for Northern States. We don't tire. Since from 2000, 2001, thousands of youth don't die for you. Now again, 2003, 2004.
So like I said, traders decided not to open their shops. That's, if you ask me, it is their personal business and nobody can coerce them. Nobody has that right. Let me put it like that. Nobody has that right to coerce them to open their shops because it's their personal commitment. Yes, it's their personal commitment. If the shop closure is affecting the government should look into their problem and find out why these shops were not closed. Were closed on Mondays, and invariably or directly solve the problem so that it will stop. That is the thing. So I think that situation is very, fragile. That governments need to be careful, while handling such things to avoid creating another problem on top of that one. You get what I mean? It's just like, as I usually say, curing a headache without treating malaria, of which you are aware that malaria is the problem and you are curing headache. The malaria is still there, you see. So solve the malaria problem and the headache will go. That is the situation that we find ourselves. And come and hear comments. Come and hear comments. See backlash. People say, you carry your own security. Why did you not come without security? You would have, come alone without security. After all, P2B goes without security sometimes. So how many? Some say, one shop, 20 military personnel should guard one shop so that they will come and open. Yeah, a lot of, oh my God.
Rules.
Yes.
And the rules are that markets are open Monday to Saturday. If you are not prepared to open your shops Monday to Saturday, then leave Anambra, go to elsewhere. Simple. Period. Okay? So, this market will be shut down for the remainder of this week. It will not be open tomorrow. It will not be open on Wednesday. It will not be open on Thursday. It will not be open on Friday. It will open again on Monday. And if we come on Monday, you want what?
Well, having said that, the recent update is that I won't hear it from my mouth. Okay, I want you to cool down and listen to this clip. It's talking about Asari Dokubo. Asari Dokubo. They are linking him to serious issues that are happening in Nigeria. Even somebody came out to say that, yes, that is the one sponsoring, allegedly, until proven otherwise. But somebody came out and was laying a whole lot of accusation on him that he knows about the killings. Yes, and aside that, the Malami issue also is part of it, but we are taking them one by one.
Asari Dokubo, youth don't tire to carry gun. Now company work we want. We don't tire for this security work to carry gun to go and die for Igbo land, to go and die for northern states. We don't tire. Since from 2000, 2001, thousands of youth don't die for you. Now again, 2003, 2004, 2024, 2023, you don't come again, say you don't collect contract for government. The contract now waiting to still carry gun. Only this year, 2005, thousands of youth don't die, especially River State youth, Biafra youth. We don't tire for all now. They don't carry youth make money. They don't monetize thousands of youth life. Many don't die. The people will die 2003, 2004, 2005, 7. No compensation, their family nothing. Many their family no head. They don't come again. 2023 till now, he don't be billionaire. He reached to beat company. Asari beat company.
70 years old.
Make we work. Youth don't tire to carry gun for you.
When their people came,
the amama we now. You they carry the key youth. I want make you go enter your bedroom. Think. You go allow your children to carry gun. You no go allow them. You no go even allow your children gun to go close to them. If they destroy people's life. River State youth we don't tire. Many of us we don't wise. We no go fit try that thing with on again. Make an try beat company. Make we work. Make you to work under on our company. On our wicked. On our wicked. On our son they fight for Niger Delta. While they don't show for everywhere, say na for our pocket. On I want make the Calabari youth, River State youth. When you shit finish, make them come wash and yash. Now that I go no say youth need company. Say no be say na go no be gun they won't carry. You know the pity youth. Millions of youth don't die. Current now thousands don't die. See not. Waiting consign us with waiting they do for not there. Nigerian military no day again. Our youth because of hungry, no food, no work. They risk their life every day. They die for that north. They die for East Igbo land. Pity for youth now. Pity for youth. If you want security work, make you go carry the gun now. Go front. Tie your besu, tie everything. Go the north, go shoot. Leave youth alone. Youth don't tire. Now, when you kill the youth, then finish. Now you go no say yes, you don't. You go rest. You go feel create any human being. My brother, Nemesis go catch you up. Now just a due time, Nemesis go catch you up. If you no change, Nemesis go catch you up. If you no change, the money where you don't get, beat company, make people work. Then the people that will don't die through this mama, go for their families, compensate them. If you know their blood go follow you till anywhere you go till end of time. Now the only thing we are go tell you.
So the thing is that Asari Dokubo has been linked to Malami, former SGF, Malami corruption issue recently. This is still ongoing according to information that we got, that Malami has link with Asari Dokubo in that particular corruption issue that involves billions and billions of naira.
Asari Dokubo linked to Malami corruption, EFCC chasing assets in Benin. Welcome to IPOB Rapture Media, the only channel brave enough to bring you the unfiltered truth. Before we begin, understand that your participation is crucial. Your mission is to watch, understand, and share what you're about to see. The truth depends on you. We are about to expose one of the biggest secrets in Nigeria. The information in this video is so explosive, it could change everything you think you know. I am not even kidding, so buckle up because this is going to be the craziest video you see all week. For years these guys thought they could get away with it, but today we expose everything. This is the one secret Nigeria's most powerful people never wanted you to find out. We discovered a secret link between this guy Asari Dokubo and the former Attorney General Dokubo-Malami, and it is insane. The government is trying to distract you with a big show, but we have the real story they don't want anyone to see. We found the truth that proves what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has been saying for years. This is a story of a secret deal, a massive betrayal, and a crazy race to hide all the evidence. A man who told the truth is in jail, while the people who did the crime are trying to get away with it. The tip of the iceberg, Malami's empire of corruption. Alright, first, let me show you the story they want you to see. The news is going crazy because in January 2026, the government finally went after Nigeria's former top lawyer, Dokubo-Malami. A federal high court ordered the interim forfeiture of 57 of his property. Can you believe that? Not 1, not 10, but 57 properties from just one guy. We're talking luxury houses, giant office buildings, and expensive land. And the price? Over 213 billion naira. That is an unbelievable amount of money. They supposedly bought all this with stolen cash, hiding it so no one would ever find out. This guy was in charge of the entire justice system, while secretly building a fortune bigger than a king's. The government is acting like this is a huge victory. They're waving around these big numbers saying, "See, we got him." But I have to ask you guys a question. Do you really think this is the whole story? Do you believe a guy this powerful did all this alone? Or is this just a giant distraction to hide something even bigger? This is where their story ends, and where we blow the lid off the truth. The truth bomb. The Dokubo-Malami connection. The real story, the one they're trying to bury right now, isn't just about Malami. It's about a name you already know, Asari Dokubo. We've all been wondering, where did Asari Dokubo go? The guy who was always yelling has been completely silent. And today, we're dropping the bombshell reason why. Our sources have confirmed that Asari Dokubo went quiet because the deal he had with Dokubo-Malami completely collapsed. So what was the deal? We can now tell you they had a secret agreement that went completely wrong. We believe Asari Dokubo was a secret partner in a giant plan to steal money, and Malami made it all happen. They thought they were untouchable. With Malami running the justice system and Dokubo causing distractions, they thought they could steal our resources forever. But the deal fell apart. Maybe they got greedy and fought over the money. Maybe one of them betrayed the other. Whatever happened, it was a total disaster, and now everything is falling apart for them. They're using Malami as the main guy to take all the blame so that you don't ask the biggest question of all. Who are his partners? And where is the rest of the money? Stop. The people in power will literally try to take this video down. I'm not even joking. This kind of video always gets suppressed, so I need every single person watching to help spread the truth. If you believe what you're seeing, smash the like button, share this video everywhere, and subscribe right now. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss what happens next. Your support is the only thing that can beat their censorship, building the case, the evidence they ignored. If you still don't believe us, let me connect the dots for you. This isn't just a random theory. The proof has been right in front of us the entire time. Do you remember back in 2023, Asari Dokubo came out and accused former Attorney General Malami of stealing 600 billion naira meant for the Niger Delta? Just think about that. How would Dokubo know that exact number?
600 billion
of money that had accrued to NDDC and said he used it on the second Niger bridge. The government of my friend Ahmed Bola Tinubu came, we raised this issue again of 600 billion Malami stole from the people of the Niger Delta with so much impunity. And I want to say that for whatever reason, this government cannot tread ignorant. The NDDC board in place cannot tread ignorant of this money and why this money is not captured in the charge sheet of Malami. What compromise are taking place to the exclusion of this monumental theft of our money? And why are the governors of the states that makes up the NDDC not talking? Why are the House of Assembly of the state that made up the NDDC not talking?
He wasn't guessing, he was talking like someone who was part of the deal, like someone who knew where the money was because he helped steal it. Now ask yourself, if a normal person accused the Attorney General of stealing that much money, what would happen? They'd be sued for billions, and the government would come after them. So what happened to Asari Dokubo after he said that? Absolutely nothing. Complete silence. They never sued him. They never charged him. Why? Because you don't sue your partner for revealing a crime you did together. Malami's silence wasn't him being the bigger person. It was panic because the secret was about to get out. And now, here is the final proof. While the government is putting on a show in Nigeria, we have reports that the real investigation is happening somewhere else. We're hearing that they are secretly chasing Asari Dokubo's assets in the Republic of Benin. Why Benin? Because that's where he thought his money was safe. That's where he was building his own secret empire. We're even hearing that the government in Benin might be seizing his university and his investments. This is the money trail they don't want you to see. The chase in Benin is the real story that proves the connection between Malami and Dokubo's hidden fortune. The vindication of a prophet, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, was right. For years, one person was warning everyone about this exact thing. From Radio Biafra, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu told us this was happening. He told us that people like Asari, Dokubo were not fighting for freedom. They were working for the same corrupt system. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu explained perfectly how Nigeria is run like a criminal company. He warned that people like Malami weren't serving the public, but were just gatekeepers for a giant machine designed to steal money and crush anyone who spoke out. Is it a surprise that Abubakar Malami was the one who signed off on kidnapping Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? Of course not. He had to shut down the one person who knew all their secrets. He had to lock up the prophet who was exposing their crimes to the world. Everything you are seeing today, Malami's downfall, the cover-up, the secret connection to Asari Dokubo, isn't news. It is a prophecy coming true. This proves that every single thing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said was right. He is in jail for telling the truth before anyone else would listen. While he's locked up, the very people he warned us about are being exposed. Their entire empire of lies is falling apart, just like he said it would. So, what did we learn today? We learned the official story is a lie. The government's case against Malami isn't the end. It's the beginning of a massive cover-up. We dropped the truth bomb that connects Asari Dokubo to this insane web of corruption. We showed you the secret evidence trail leading to the Republic of Benin, where the real hunt for the stolen money is happening away from all the cameras. And most importantly, we showed you that this proves everything Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has ever said. He saw this coming. He warned you. The only question is, what will you do with this truth? Will you let them hide it, or will you help us win the information war? The choice is yours. Your mission starts now. Share this video. The powerful will do anything to bury this, so it is your job to spread it. This is IPOB Rapture Media fighting for the truth. Thank you for watching.
my viewers haven't watched that particular clip, well, I think by now we are going to call it a day. But let me know your thoughts, what you think about the closure of Onitsha market by the governor of Anambra State, Professor Charles Soludo, in that regards. Let me know what you think and whether it is right or it's not right. Because if you look at it, there was nothing like, I don't know if they advised the governor well from the market leaders, what was their input before that action was taken, or was there any, or where there was no kind of stakeholders meeting before the governor take that action, because such action should have been taken after several meeting upon meeting, and such action should come from the market executive and also the local policing and the police, the policing authorities around the state or within the state. Those people should form the major aspect of people that must advise the governor before the governor should take that action. If not, if has been the governor take that action on his own, well, to me, I don't know. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section. And I say bye for now.